Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Born on this date in 1929, sociobiologist and entomologist Edward O. Wilson of Birmingham. He also lived in Mobile and Decatur while he was young and grew up to become the world's top authority on ants. Today, we're going to look at the last time a president overruled a governor to deploy the National Guard. We'll look at a sheriff indicted and who's in the old Golden Flake plant. Then after the break, we know we have more people hoping to move to Alabama. We got a study to prove it. So we'll drop a PSA on the state's venomous snakes. This is something you need to know about if you're going to move to Alabama. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
When President Trump deployed the National Guard in California in response to street protests and riots over immigration enforcement, it was a rare step for a president, but not an unprecedented one. And it turns out the last time a president deployed the National Guard against the wishes of the local governor, it was right here in Alabama, reports AL.com's William Thornton. And back in 1965, 60 years ago now, it was President Lyndon Johnson pulling rank on Governor George Wallace to deploy the Guard to protect demonstrators during a Selma to Montgomery march over voting rights for Black Alabamians. Some 50,000 marchers made the 54-mile trip, and later that year, Congress passed the Voting Rights Act. Now, this all came after instances of violence that included the Bloody Sunday violence of March 7th, 1965. The Walker County Sheriff has been indicted in the latest drama for an already beleaguered department, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. Pressure has already been on Sheriff Nick Smith over how the Walker County Jail handled the Tony Mitchell case. Now, Mitchell was the inmate whose apparent abuse, neglect, and death has led to indictments for more than a dozen employees. Sheriff Smith is now accused of knowingly employing 6 deputies who were not certified. According to the indictment, Smith hired 4 deputies as school resource officers. They wore uniforms, drove patrol vehicles, and carried badges and guns, but they had not been certified by the Alabama Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission, according to the indictment. Smith also stands accused of employing another man as a jailer with a uniform, gun, and badge, but again, allegedly he's not certified to do that. The big former Golden Flake facility is close to showcasing a new business in the Titusville neighborhood of Birmingham, reports AL.com's Greg Garrison. Now, if you grew up in the Birmingham area, you may have taken a field trip to that Golden Flake plant. The last chip rolled off the line in June 2023, and new owner Utz moved operations out of Alabama. Meanwhile, Southeastern Salvage has been feeling cramped in its Irondale location. Its lease on that 65,000 square foot facility expired at the end of May, and it bought the Golden Flake plant with plans to use the 135,000 square foot main building. Now, if you're good in math, that's more than doubling your square footage. Southeastern Salvage owner Bubba Morgan said he'll be able to have 2 acres of garden center around the building. Southeastern Salvage will be back to 11 stores in operation once that Titusville building is ready. Morgan reckons that it'll be in the next couple weeks. Let's take a quick break. come back and talk about Alabama's venomous snakes. Y'all stay with us.
Some things are simple. Putting $1,500 per year back in families' pockets, good. Hitting hardworking Americans with a $4.5 trillion tax hike, not good. Unleashing affordable American energy, good. Wasting money on Green New Deal scams, not good. Securing our borders, good. A broken immigration system, not good. America needs lower taxes, more energy, and stronger borders. Congress, the time to act is now. Learn more at protectprosperity.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Air Force Research Laboratory is partnering with Google Cloud using AI to accelerate defense research for air, space, and cyberspace forces. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
Hey, thanks for hanging out a little longer. We know about some of the migration into points in our state, such as the Huntsville metro area and Baldwin County. But the research publication Consumer Affairs did a pretty extensive survey that shows Alabama ranking high for the second year in a row, by the way, on destinations people are thinking about moving to, reports AL.com's William Thornton. Now, this is net migration that Consumer Affairs considered. So it's folks looking to move into Alabama minus folks looking to move out. The survey took data from more than 120,000 users who showed interest in moving between March last year and March this year. Alabama was the 7th most popular state for net migration in. The 6 above our state were North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, and Georgia. 8 of the top 11, by the way, most popular considered destinations were in the South, despite our mosquito handicap. Nearly 46% of potential movers are looking to head to the South. So last year, the National Association of Realtors determined that the top reason people were looking for homes at the time was to be closer to family or to find a better cost of living. 2 pretty good reasons. Now, despite what some locals think, moving down here to tell us what we're doing wrong didn't make the list for many folks. Not that we're not fully open to suggestions from others, just write them down on a piece of paper and put them in the box. On the other side of the Consumer Affairs study, California and New York were atop the list of states with a net migration out. So, since over the last few years we've established that people are moving in, and now we know more people want to move in, maybe we can do a little public service work for our newcomers. AL.com's Margaret Cates recently did a story for the website on Alabama's rattlesnakes. Here, we'll broaden that and list all the venomous ones to get everybody up to speed. I know a lot of locals already know this, but it's stuff you need to know. First, note the use of the word venomous and not poisonous. Things that are poisonous will get you when you eat them or drink them or maybe handle them. Things that are venomous are delivering the venom to you with a bite. See, some snakes and spiders are venomous, puffer fish and some frogs and plants are poisonous. Anyway, nerdy part aside, there are 6 venomous snakes, not including any of the Democrat or Republican varieties, that call Alabama home. First, we'll start with the very colorful coral snake with all its red and black and yellow bands. The thing with the coral snake is that it looks like some varieties of king snake. So we all learned rhymes in school to tell them apart. Now, the best rhyme to remember is red touches yellow, kill a fellow. All right, number 2 is a copperhead. Its name describes its color. It's tannish with tan to brown, hourglass-shaped crossbands, and rarely longer than 3 feet. It's not an aggressive snake, but it does tend to freeze and hide instead of slithering away, making it likely the most encountered venomous snake in Alabama. Number 3, we'll do the cottonmouth. This one's also known as a water moccasin because it's often found in swampy areas or near water. Guess what his mouth looks like when he opens it? You got it. The cottonmouth is related to the copperhead. The adults are much more black with the cottonmouth and have a pixelated looking version of the hourglass crossbands. We'll get into the rattlesnakes next. First, we'll do ground rattler. Some people, I think biologists maybe, call it the pygmy rattler, but I don't think I've ever heard that said that way in the wild. They become more common as you move toward the Gulf Coast. When they coil up, they cover about the same area as a big pine cone. The timber rattler. It has a chevron pattern that's darker than the background, and there's usually a brownish stripe running down its back. Timber rattlers don't like urban areas, so you're much more likely to find them in deeper woods. And then finally, eastern diamondback, the granddaddy of them all. It's located in the southern half of Alabama with a high-end length of up to 8 feet. It's the biggest rattlesnake in the world and the biggest venomous snake in Alabama. And in a previous story, Auburn herpetologist and veteran Alabama snake researcher Jimmy Stiles called it the most dangerous snake in the U.S. It has that gorgeous, scaly diamond pattern from its head to its rattles, and some folks say it's pretty solid when it's deep fried with hush puppies. Which brings to mind, on a future similar PSA segment welcoming newcomers, we could do one suggestion which local foods to try and which ones to just let pass by. Thanks for listening to us. We'll be back here first thing in the morning. Until then, come by and see us anytime you want to on the internet at al.com.